Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 4th episode of Hollownest. This is Ben.
And this is Allie.
And I already explained it in the first 3 seconds of this video. So, let's go before I make myself an even bigger fool in front of everyone.
You're just fine.
Yeah, so episode 4, and let's go. So basically, I want to talk about something I missed in the other 3 episodes. Depending on what you kind of count as 3 episodes. If you count as 3, then good job. If you count as 4, then get off from sight. But the thing is that one thing I do want to mention, and this is something I kind of forgot to mention, which is not really, I'm not saying it is not necessary, but I think it's kind of necessary, is that one of the NPCs in Green Path is known as the Hunter, and he basically is a hunter, but that's kind of what he is. And he will give you what is called the Hunter's Journal, which is basically the encyclopedia and the kind of log on every single enemy that you kill. And the thing is that there will be certain enemy counts that you have to kill, or certain number of enemies you have to kill, and there will be probably 2 or 1, 2, up to almost 30 enemies that you have to kill. But the thing is that you don't even get it too late. You get it right after you beat False Knight. So basically, again, and I think it's kind of tedious. I mean, you're basically killing every enemy and getting what is known as the Hunter's Mark. And when you go and get it, you basically have almost 3 or 4, almost 5 enemies already down on the thing, so there was almost no need for the Hunter's Mark at that point, right? No. At the end of the game, you actually get a percentage mark, or and basically, it's just they're counting your score and and there is, when it actually shows that there's 159 enemies that you have to kill, but there is not 159 enemies. Once you go over 159, it is more obvious that's more than 159. Basically, there is the regular enemies that don't need any DLC, no updates, no nothing. But then the thing is that ones that do require DLC or require some sort of season pass or something, then basically they actually will count towards the thing. And then there is, other things, but I'm not going to go through all of it because it wastes too much time. What are you going to say?
It does sound a little bit similar to the Lego games. Have you played any of those?
Yes, I've actually played Indiana Jones.
I'm working on Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
But they have a similar game structure where you play through the whole story, and then you're at 30% done. And then you go back and explore the map more and gain more abilities and do a bunch of achievements after you've completed the story in free play.
Yeah.
Anyway, it sounded similar where you said that you have a percentage and then you have to, defeat a certain number of villains.
But again, the thing is that you don't get the percentage after you've beaten all 3 Dreamers, which takes a lot of time because it's almost at the end of the game. And then there is actually 2 achievements to actually the percentage of the game. The first is game completion, which basically means that you have to complete 100%. But then there is pure completion, which requires you to beat the game 112%.
What?
Yeah, you thought that some of those games that had almost everything in the game,
The extra credit?
Yeah, there's extra credit in the game, which is kind of weird. And I am like 108, which I'm almost there, but I do want to focus on some of the lore and some my thoughts and opinions and theories of like Hollow Knight. So let's kind of get that out of the way. Basically, the lore is that in the beginning of the game, that's at the the pre-beginning, before the events of Hollow Knight, everything almost seems bleak and almost lifeless. There's this almost like goddess, moth goddess looking thing, known as the Radiance. She takes on the form of a moth, and then she basically has everyone everyone to be a part of what is called, or what is essentially a hive's mind, which basically means that everyone is interconnected with one like string. Or so if I say that I dream, then I'd be sent to like some sort of dream world, and everything that that everyone is connected. And they also create what is the dream nail, which if you missed that, then go watch the previous episode. If you haven't watched it, then yeah, just watch it now to avoid spoilers on this episode. She also yes, the Radiance is actually referred to as a she. It is referred to as a girl, so it kind of seems weird. But then after a few years, there then is a worm that ascends, and a worm is not W-O-R-M or W-A-R-M, W-Y-R-M. Worm.
Yeah.
Worm. And then he meets Radiance and then seals her for eternity. Well, his teachings is basically that everyone is a sentient. Everyone has their own mind. Everyone is their own being. But the thing is, he was kind of naive. He basically didn't know that the Radiance had full control over the bugs. So she and this is where one of the theories come in. That basically the entire thing, the hive's mind acts up and starts to take hold of all the bugs and infect them with a kind of cyst. It's almost like orange cysts, kind of. And when you kill them, they will blow into like this orange cloud.
They scatter more?
Yeah. Well, not splatter, just no.
Okay.
But the thing is, this is kind of one of the theories. Some people say that it's the Radiance's anger that basically swept across the land. Some people say it's just something that, that's kind of what people say. But I think it's actually, any of you are kind of bug fans, like if you like ants and stuff, you actually know that there is a kind of a disease that takes on ants. I forget what it's actually called now, but it's basically a kind of a fungus that roots from the heads of ants and literally turns them into zombies.
That's scary.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, and I hope you do actually think that theory is legit, because if that theory isn't real, or that theory isn't legit, then I don't know what is. And then he basically goes on and tries to make different vessels to keep the Radiance at bay. And he gives jobs to 3 dreamers, which I've already gone over. Hair the Beast, Monomon the Watcher, and Monomon the Librarian, and Lurin the Watcher. But if you missed everything, then I recommend watching episode 3. Just because.
Yeah.
And then the thing is that almost everything almost went wrong because he actually made no, not everyone, but he made a pure vessel, which is the Hollow Knight. The main character, well, not the main character, but the main thing or main reason why you're here, why you're playing this game. And
A villain, or is he something different?
he was originally just a vessel, one of the Pale King's children, and he went through a lot of vessels and a lot of void to actually make a vessel. And then here goes another theory that I actually have, which who the guy you play as is, and many years later, the Radiance acts up again. The Heart of Radiance threatens to burst through the head of the Hollow Knight, and then there is the knight that you play as, which some people think that it's the Pale King, or more of a reincarnate.
Kind of like Link.
Yeah, kind of like it, but I doubt it. I mean, if you think about it, that he is also a void entity, a void creature, or something that is born of void. And he is basically a kind of a reset switch or a fail-safe switch. Like if everything goes wrong, then and now I'm using computer terms because why not? Think of the Radiance as kind of a malware. I mean, and the Pale King is making a kind of antivirus to combat that malware. The antivirus or the thing that's supposed to defeat the malware is actually. And then he resumed, the Pale King is like just an outdated source of antivirus destroyer or tracker or something, protect the computer from the malware. And then so basically you are the malware tracker. You are the antivirus. Well, that's kind of what I think. I mean, he might be like some sort of, but if Team Cherry is watching this, or if this actually goes up and they are actually watching this, consider actually saying it. I mean, it's supposed to be a mysterious game, but still, there is also room for theories and speculation on the game.
As with most things.
And also, let's get the elephant out of the room, the Radiance. So basically, how you're supposed to reach Radiance is 1, getting the Void Heart, 2, beating Hornet, and 3, beating the Hollow Knight. Beating the Hollow Knight. And basically, he will have four phases, naturally, if you don't do anything, if you just play the game normally. Then you'll get the Hollow Knight ending, which basically means that sacrificing yourself to the greater good. But then, if you get the Void Heart and meet Hornet for the second time, and beat the Pure Vessel or the Sealed Vessel, then you basically go on and Hornet will intervene the fight, which will only cause 3 phases to occur. And then after you dream nail the Hollow Knight, you'll be sent to the Radiance's lair. And this is where the real fight starts. This is where the diarrhea dials get cranked on so hard that it almost feels like you're having explosive diarrhea. It is hard.
Oh man. That sounds a little scary.
Yeah, and I mean, the Radiance isn't scary, but the the amount of damage she does is, well, not really massive, but she actually does 2 hearts of damage, or 2 masks of damage. If you have not gotten all the hearts, then why are you even playing this game for?
Right, so they probably have to go back and get the rest of the hearts.
Yeah, and also I recommend having full soul, and at least getting Sluber's blessing, and then using Sluber's blessing in the Temple of the Black Egg, which is pretty good, because if you fight the Hollow Knight long enough, Hornet will intervene, and then you can dream another Hollow Knight, and then just spam the Void Wraiths, which is one of the, or if you don't have Void Wraiths, then Howling Wraiths. But if you don't have Howling Wraiths, then Shriek Abyss, Howling Soul, or Howling Wraiths, whatever it's called. Get one of those get one of those and just spam the heck out of it. And also I recommend having soul. The soul. There's a soul charm in the game that will let you reduce the cost of soul, but also having Shaman Stone will make it more powerful, so you can deal more damage, so you can get to the second phase more easier that way. So the charms I use are either, I typically use a quick focus, but I usually don't, because focusing is not that slow anyway. But don't use deep focus, because that will do it so slow that it'll almost seem like an eternity.
Gotcha.
And then I usually use Shaman Stone for more damage, and soul. One of the other soul charms cost of less soul.
What was that part again?
Cost of less soul.
Okay.
And usually I use at least one nail charm, just for reach reasons. And usually I use I usually use a strength charm for more strength. And then I usually use permanent health, so I will have unbreakable heart. I usually
invincibility.
Yeah, well, not really invincibility. You'll last more longer.
Okay.
Because you usually have I forget how many hearts you normally have, but it'll give you 2 extra hearts, and giving you the maximum amount of health possible. And I believe that will be enough of today's episode. So, and also I'm afraid we didn't get to all the things I need to say.
Alright, so it sounds like there will be a 5th episode of Hollow Knight.
Well, not really. I mean, if you have actually played the entire game through and through, then I congratulate you. And if you haven't, then never let up.
Yep, we're all in it together.
Yeah, so next time we'll be going back in time to where dinosaurs still roamed Earth, and battling with them.
Awesome. I look forward to it.
Yep. So tune next time for tomorrow. Or to next time.